Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Gold Domers Report. I'm Landen Trailer, joined by John Richards, Dylan Kearns, and Logan Trailer as we move into Week 12 of college football. Boy, oh boy, I tell you, we were talking before the show started. These last two shows for us, man, they're going to be about as useless as Notre Dame's rest of the season, to be honest with you. But hey, the show must go on. That's why we're here today. Notre Dame takes on Wake Forest. But before we get into Wake Forest, Notre Dame, I want to talk about two things mainly. Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, he was let go, and he is now going to be paid anywhere between $70 and $80 million. So we obviously did not do a show on Tuesday. It was our bye week episode. So our new format for the rest of the season is Tuesdays. We are going to recap the game before, and then Thursdays we're going to preview the opponent, make our picks. However, there was no opponent to recap on Tuesday, so that's why we're here on Thursday. So, and another one, big news is Michigan takes care of Penn State, guys. I'll tell you what, regardless of your feelings towards Michigan, that's a good football team. That is a very good football team right there. And I think they proved a lot of people wrong last Saturday, and now moving to this Saturday. So I don't know what that means, Dylan.
Proved him wrong. Lock of the week. I told you it was a joke.
Oh yeah. He's this way on my screen. So yeah, I was about to, what are you doing? But yes, Michigan is a darn good football team. All the stuff going on inside the university, their head coach gone. Now, granted, Penn State played a terrible football game. Honestly, James Franklin shouldn't have even been let back in his office that night. Penn State fired the wrong guy. But Michigan, I'll tell you what, this team, they're not America's team because America doesn't like cheaters, but they're a darn good football team, Logan.
Unfortunately, didn't get to watch the game. Was in a gym all Saturday. But it did. I was able to watch some highlights in the first half of the so-called football game that took place Saturday. It was refreshing to know that there is an offense that is worse than Notre Dame's. My biggest takeaway from watching that game. It'd be interesting to see what Michigan does with all the scandals and allegations going on. Will they leave the Big Ten? That's been thrown around. That would be something interesting to keep an eye out for, especially being a Notre Dame fan and being independent. So obviously I'm more intrigued about that now after seeing a couple reports about that. So that would be very interesting to say.
Hey, Notre Dame and Michigan joining a little super conference, JR. You kind of mentioned it a little bit last Sunday, actually, on our post-game little Sunday chat. What do you think about that?
I did. If I were Michigan and I were that salty at the conference and the way that the college football landscape is right now, I might place a call to Notre Dame and say, hey, why don't we begin the first of 4 super conferences ourselves and go recruit some other schools? And, we're the 2 big boys in this whole thing. And wouldn't it be ironic if the entire collapse centered around Michigan and Notre Dame joining up? I don't think that's, going to happen. That's really far down the road.
Right.
But, Michigan, sounds like they have contemplated leaving the conference based on how they have been treated or feel they have been treated. So, Notre Dame's in a good position. They've obviously proven they don't have to be part of a conference to be part of the current landscape. That may change depending on the qualifications for the playoffs moving forward. So we'll see how it plays out, but Michigan is a good football team. And Logan, it's funny that you mentioned Penn State's offense being as bad as there's an offense that's worse than us. Honestly, watching that game, it felt like I was watching Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It really did.
The ineptitude of their offense that permeated throughout the game, especially late. I mean, that poor Drew Aller, that kid might be ruined forever.
It was very predictable. It was a very predictable offense. And on the other side, Michigan didn't really do much offensively except run the ball down Penn State's throat the entire game. I think the final line J.J. McCarthy had about 68 yards or something. He threw the ball a total of 8 times, and Michigan ran 29 straight times on Penn State to close out the game.
They didn't throw in the second half, correct?
Correct. They did not throw the second half. I mean, you don't have to when you're just running it down the throat constantly, and it works.
They kind of proved their own point. Like, here it comes. Try and stop it. You know it's coming.
Give the ball to your best player.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, well, nothing really exciting in week 11 this past week. I know we're a little late to the party, but Georgia throttles Ole Miss. They are now number 1 in the college football playoff rankings, rightfully so. I had them number 1 all season long. I've had them number 1. They're the rightfully number 1 team in the country. Washington wins a wild one over Utah. They got a big one coming up. We'll touch on that in a little bit. North Carolina rushed the field after beating Duke. And yes, in football, it's not basketball. I get doing that in football or basketball, which I can't wait for North Carolina Duke this year. It's going to be a darn good basketball game. Anyway, Louisville survives a scare against UVA last Thursday. Bama clinches the West with a dominating win at Kentucky. Texas Tech upsets Kansas at home. IU blows a 27-9 lead and loses 48-45 in overtime at Illinois.
Good job, Tommy.
Jeez, that was bad. That was a very bad game for IU. Clemson defeats Georgia Tech 42-21. Florida State survives 27-20 against Miami. They did not impress me. They looked pretty bad at home against a rival last week. And lastly, Texas survives a 29-26 scare at Texas Christian University. So that was week 11 in a nutshell. We'll talk now about Jimbo Fisher real quick. And a lot of names have been thrown around of this job. I've heard Mike Elko. I've even heard Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions making a move over. So Dylan, Jimbo, he's gone. He won the lottery. 1, does he coach again? And 2, who replaces Jimbo this upcoming season?
Jimbo's too talented to not coach again. He'll get a job. He's been around the game. He knows what he's doing. And I understand maybe he's disappointed a little bit, but he got fired coming off a win. That's still crazy. But I think Jimbo will get another job, and I really liked your take the other day. I don't know if you were joking with whatever you sent in the group chat last night, but it really got the wheels turning. I'd like to see good old Coach O at Texas A&M. I think that's a sweet fit for them.
That would be a good fit. I mean, an SEC coach, they got a lot of Coach O's, let's see how I say this without getting in trouble. They got a lot of Coach O's interest down there in Texas, especially at Texas A&M University. If you guys get what I'm saying. If you
work it.
Huh?
Work it.
Yeah, exactly. Work it. He was finger painting there in LSU. Another name I heard was Mike Elko. Mike Elko from Duke moving over. Guys, he left Notre Dame to take the Texas A&M job when Jimbo got hired at Texas A&M. I believe as his defensive coordinator. Now, I've heard Elko to Texas A&M as the head coach. Riley Leonard might transfer. I heard if that happens, moving us to Notre Dame saying this week that they are going to take a transfer quarterback. Riley Leonard might be transferring to Notre Dame if that happens. There's a lot of what ifs in the college football world today, but we're going to move on to one thing's for sure, and that is Notre Dame returns home for one final time in 2023 to face the 4-6 Wake Forest Demon Deacons on Saturday afternoon. The headline for this game will be Sam Hartman facing his old team, where he went 27-21 in 5 years with a record 110 touchdown passes and 12,967 yards, second in ACC history. Now, fellas, I will say this. Wake Forest has a chance to really pour salt in the wound here for the Notre Dame. They really have a chance of him coming to Notre Dame. They have the chance to say, you came to Notre Dame and basically going the same record. And if this offense doesn't figure it out, hey, Wake Forest might play a little spoiler saying, Hey, was it worth it to go to Notre Dame?
It is
All
senior,
do the same thing.
it is senior day as well, correct?
Exactly. Except I don't think Sam Hartman will be honored because he already had 2 senior days, I think, at Wake Forest, if I'm correct. On his 6th year of college football. It's like Logan college right now, or JR.
Just generally speaking, though, senior day has always been a pretty emotional and rewarding day for the Notre Dame football team. So that's pretty much kind of all that's going on. I'd be really shocked if isn't this a head nod? We gonna head nod this? 24.5.
No.
Definitely.
You don't do the UCF head nod.
No.
Us, man.
We are not doing the head nod on this one. Not
Randy,
happening.
it kind of pisses me off. You mentioned all these accolades and how he comes back and trying to. I understand the stories there, but the only stats that I care about Sam Hartman is 2,272 yards and 18 touchdowns that he has for our Fighting Irish, including 2 big losses against teams that you probably shouldn't lose to. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at him, and I don't care that he put up all these accolades at Wake Forest and had all these senior days and is very, oh, here it is, bring him back. Oh, gosh, I know we're searching for something to find in these last few weeks because it ain't pretty, but I don't want to talk about this kid anymore. As far as Riley Leonard goes, I don't want another suck-ass ACC quarterback to come here.
Well, very interesting, Dylan. You are correct. He hasn't performed any of our liking this year. I mean, you look at the Ohio State game. Okay, that's a good Ohio State defense. However, I thought our offense matched their defense. Louisville, I don't want to talk about it. Clemson, that was just an all-out. He sucks against Clemson. He can't shine in the spotlight. I've noticed with Sam.
You think after playing him probably 10 times in his life, he could fix it?
Yeah, he can't. Obviously, 0-5 now. So Wake Forest has the chance to play Spoiler on senior day like Boston College did in 1993. JR, you remember that? That was senior day, wasn't it?
Sitting in the stands.
Yeah. Well, what was that senior day after the Florida State win? That had to be.
Had to have been.
That had to have been. Yeah. So anyway, however, Wake Forest in its last 7 games has not scored more than 21 points. A 30-16 loss against Georgia Tech, a 17-12 loss at Clemson, a 30-13 loss at Virginia Tech, a 21-17 win against Pitt, a controversial call to set up a touchdown drive in the last seconds of the game, a 41-16 loss against Florida State, a 24-21 loss at Duke, and last week a 26-6 loss against NC State. So they have a lot of offensive issues on their own, and honestly, they haven't looked good all season long. They only beat Alon 37-17, a 36-20 win against Vandy, and a 27-24 win against Old Dominion. They allow 22.4 points per game. They got solid defense this season. However, they only score 20.5 points per game. Notre Dame coming off of a bye week. Last time that was a 58-7 win over Pitt. So, Logan, you look a little down here. I've been looking at you the last about 5 minutes. You look like a little Debbie Downer over there. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about how we should probably be 9-1 going into Saturday rather than 7-3. Just depressing. It's very disappointing. I think I spent all my energy just being down last week, so this week it's just
Silence is
like
silence sometimes is the loudest thing, and I think that's where you're at with the season. Is who cares? Who cares?
It's where
What, Dylan?
it's where it should be.
Yeah. So Notre Dame is 5 against Wake Forest in their all-time history. 2011, they had a 24-7 win at Wake. 2012, they had a 38-0 win at Senior Day. 2015, they had a 28-7 win at Notre Dame. Again, Senior Day. 17 Notre Dame with 48-37 win against the Deacons, and 2018 is their last matchup at Wake Forest. Notre Dame rolled 56-21 in that ball game. So there's something about playing Wake Forest Senior Day Forest on still not the idea we were hoping it would be. You know, obviously we were all hoping that Notre Dame would either be a 9-1 or even should be standing here 10-0 right now, but I'm not going to get into that. So, JR, you mentioned it, Senior Day. It means a lot to the University of Notre Dame. It means the football team, the fans, the coaches, the players. I just don't see us dropping a game on Senior Day at home to this Wake Forest team.
Boy, wouldn't that be worst case scenario for Coach Freeman? I mean, that would be an absolute disaster. You can see my good friend Logan, he's got his head buried in both his hands. I mean, that would just be completely debilitating, and I would have to say probably the nail in the coffin. And then you go to Stanford, who you have beaten. You're on the West Coast during Thanksgiving. You think apathy has set in with just us. Imagine losing to West Forest 3+ touchdown favorite on Senior Day. I mean, that's how that's how you would go out on a disappointing season.
Like you're in a lose-lose situation, right? Like the season's a waste, but it can get a lot worse. Like no matter what, if you go and win 3 games, you're still 10-3, underachieved. But God, if you lose that,
a 10-win season is important. You know, you want to be able to say you can get double-digit wins, but you certainly think you can get to 9. You know, we've seen some of these predictions about, you know, bowl matchups. A popular one has been Tennessee, you know, LSU. And again, what do those teams look like by the time you're playing them? So
Very true.
Let's get to 10 wins, guys.
Really? That's the expectation, man. That's sad. That's sad. Like, what are we?
What happens when we have
What are we, Purdue?
incompetent Fox on the team? Sorry.
what?
That's a joke.
What?
I said that's what happens when we have incompetent beep on the team.
Restart the segment. Jesus, you're fucked in the head. I'll tell you that right now.
That was the word that I said.
Anyway, JR, it's sad to me that 10 wins has really become the expectation for this squad. A lot of talent.
I hope those aren't the expectations. If those are the expectations, then we have regressed and we've taken a step back under Freeman from Kelly, because there's only one expectation, and that's perfection. That's the only expectation that there should be. Done.
Yeah.
I don't think those are the expectations, but it's a reality every single year of my existence.
Right. I was just about to say that. You know, I mean, it's the reality that Notre Dame might a 10-win team every single 10 to 11 win team every single year. Something changes, and it's at least sad.
Well, it is going to change. It is going to change next year when 12 teams make the playoffs. And imagine what a loss does when you're sitting at 2 losses and maybe on the fringe of making that 12. This is what we talked about. Imagine this show next year and you come off a late season loss with, you know, your records, you know, 9-1, 8-2. You know, now you're out.
Oh, absolutely.
Now there's you think there's,
Especially next year.
I mean, what are bowl games?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, what are bowl games going to look like next year outside of the college football playoff?
Right.
Nobody's going to care unless you
What are
Right, Logan.
we can't win we can't win a big game in the regular season, let alone playoff. I mean, unless Marcus Freeman takes his Viagra before a game, I don't think they can win in the playoffs.
I hope he
I
hope he don't even hear that lady.
Now,
Dylan's on.
She's afraid.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, next year's schedule, 2024. You open up at Texas A&M. You return home to play Northern Illinois. You're at Purdue, Miami of Ohio, home against Louisville, home against Stanford, at Georgia Tech, which is most likely going to be played in Atlanta. What's the Mercedes Stadium? Navy and East Rutherford, Florida State at home, Virginia at home, and at USC. We have one more game to add as of right now. However, this schedule, looking at it from just the outside right now, it should be 11.
6 years, boys.
You should be undefeated going into Southern Cal. We should be undefeated going to Southern Cal. Hold on. We have a game to add next year?
Yeah, we schedule have 11.
Who the hell has come up with that?
11 games right now, if I count right.
You can't count to 11. You expect him to count to 12?
Oh, bang!
Oh man, that is that's a good one right there. That might be the line of the season right there.
Yeah, that's gold. That is gold. That's
only 11 games. We can't count. Oh god.
That's pure gold right there. That is pure gold.
I mean, it's who are we gonna add? Isn't it a little late to be adding people to the schedule next year?
Well, listen to me. Stanford now becomes ACC opponents. So we have the ability to add another non-ACC opponent on the schedule because our contract has 5. We have 6 ACC games. We can pick up a Pac-12 team, a Big Ten team like Michigan or Michigan State. Screw it. Let's make Clemson a yearly. Let's make it a yearly opponent. I don't want to play Penn State.
It gives us a nice win against a team that'll be ranked pretty high because Franklin can't win a game.
Yeah. Is that a trendy thing moving forward to leave a week open? So I've never heard Notre Dame this late.
Because the next year we have 12 games scheduled.
It will be. Okay, didn't want to interrupt anybody. It will be interesting to see what they do with that game. And JR, you're right, because I was looking just like we have less than a year to figure that out. Like, what are we doing? Maybe.
Well, hold on. What's the prerequisites to get could you go 10-1 to be eligible to get do you have to play 12 games?
I believe
so.
You
have to play 12 games. That's the college football rule right now.
12
it will be next year.
But you don't need to play in a conference championship.
Correct.
Can we get SEC school?
I mean, do you really want that one?
We're going to lose anyway.
Right. Do you really want that?
Arkansas coming up.
Auburn would be beautiful to have on the schedule.
I would love to see Smarty.
All right. Bring it in. Everybody bring it in. We're going to talk. Unfortunately, we have to talk about this last home game in 2023, unfortunately. So moving along here, let's bring it back into 2023. We'll talk about 2024 when it comes next fall. Listen, this upcoming game against Wake Forest, it all just depends on the Notre Dame team. Which Notre Dame team shows up? Will it be the Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, Clemson team, or will it be the Navy and Pitt Notre Dame team? Because those are really our only 2 signature wins this season. Don't underestimate Coach Dave Clawson. I'll tell you that right now. He's a wonderful coach. He's done a fantastic job at Wake Forest. I know we've all disagreed on my North Carolina takes, North Carolina is what they are. Dave Clawson has done a wonderful job at Wake Forest, in my opinion. So with that, we'll move along to the keys to the victory here and your thoughts about this game and what makes you nervous. We'll start with Dylan, JR, and move along to Logan here.
Nothing makes me nervous about this game. I don't like talking about 2023 because it sucks. But I think just looking forward, I don't know. Hopefully we get up big so we can get some kids more action. That's kind of what I like. I remember Maine Senior Day. We've done that in the past. Remember Estimate, the game I went with everybody. That game a couple of years ago. You see these kids play, and I know it's Senior Day. Just hopefully they can enjoy it one last time as they know that this year's the worst, So just go out there, play, take in the moments, and don't forget about your time at Notre Dame. Maybe you didn't live up to the hype when it comes to exceeding later on in your career in big moments in college football, but at least you got to play at Notre Dame and you can rack in the experience one more time. And as far as the keys of the game, I don't think it matters. They're going to win. They're just going to go out there and win the game. It don't matter. Everyone's going to get a touch. Everyone's going to play. It's going to be like recess out there for the Irish.
JR.
I yield my time. I just move the boat along. I agree with everything Dylan said. I think that I would like to see, let's be honest, I think we would like to see somebody else at quarterback taking some snaps, some real meaningful snaps. Yeah, I'd like to see some, we're probably gonna lose some people in the back end of the secondary. We'd like to see some people there. But we pound these teams this year, these 20-point favored games. We should roll in this. What's the weather look like?
50.
Yeah,
okay.
Sunny, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there are. I don't really have any big keys either. Play loose. Play loose.
Yeah, gotcha, Senator Richards. Thank you for yielding your time to Mr. Logan Trailer.
Kind of piggyback, but I do think it is important for the young guys to get reps. It would be nice to see what we're working with, especially at quarterback. It'll be interesting what they do. I'm in the car a lot, so listen to a lot of podcasts, especially on Notre Dame football, to make sure I'm not the only pissed off guy about the 23 season. But it's been interesting to hear about, what they might do. There's some that think we don't owe Sam Hartman anything. I tend to disagree with that. I would like to see Sam enjoy, playing Wake Forest. It's definitely weird. Yeah, I've been put in that position where I've transferred from a high school to another one and had to play my old team and get to see all my old teammates, and it was definitely tough and emotional, to say the least. You got to think he was there for 4 years, a lot of the same staff, so it's definitely a special moment, a unique moment to have for Sam. So hopefully he plays well. I would like to see Minchie over in Jelly, to be honest with you. Just to see where he's at, kind of give us an idea. Freeman coming out saying we are going to go to the portals, interesting. So definitely you think how they portrayed it, and Jelly's going to be in the running. But, to see Minchie and then Carr next year coming in, see where Minchie is at, I think is important. JR made a really good point. I think we have 31 seniors that will be running out. I think I might be wrong on this. 15 of them have the option to come back. Landen might fact check me, but obviously I think we lose Cam. You lose Sam, obviously, but just to see some of the young defensive guys, Drake Bowen, Adon Schuler, those guys will be – I would really like to – I would enjoy watching the game if those kids were in the game. So,
Right. I agree with Logan for once. Holy, mark it down. Logan and I agree. JR, you raised your hand before I get to my key to the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, a public statement that Freeman makes in a press conference like that during this week and saying we will, look to add a fourth scholarship quarterback, that could also be the public and nice code for saying somebody else may be transferring out as well, and we may really be looking for two. Yeah. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Minchie or Angeli transfer. Yeah. And I think probably you're looking at Angeli transferring.
Absolutely. I think he's going to be gone when it comes to 2024. Good quarterback. We got too many people in the room, unfortunately.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yes.
It is a really good problem to have.
Right. I agree.
I want to say one thing here. Now, I don't want to have this spiral into a 15-minute segment. Maybe we save it for the offseason. Is this a job-saving move by Freeman to go to the portal?
I don't know. I don't know if it. Well,
Go
I
ahead,
want to
JR.
reply to Logan and saying it's a good problem to have. Right now, it's a good problem to have. But if I'm a quarterback on this staff right now, or an incoming quarterback coming looking for a place to land, I'm not so sure I want to go play at Notre Dame if I'm a really highly touted quarterback. Just looking at how we're you go to Notre Dame because you're a quarterback and you can turn into the golden boy, but I'm not so sure if I have the skills to be the man if I'm going to Notre Dame under its current tutelage and leadership.
Yeah, very true.
I would agree to that, but I will also rebuttal saying that you have CJ Carr coming in, who's going to be really good, or is really good high school player. Don't know how it's going to translate, obviously, but to get a kid in the 25 class, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of his clips. Deuce Knight is unbelievable.
Deuce is the dude. Deuce is the dude.
And let's say Chip Kelly does get fired. You may get that guy that we lost out on to him. He may reconsider and come back to Notre Dame.
Dante Moore.
Yeah. So there's all kind of dominoes that can fall. And believe me, they're way ahead of us compared to where we are.
Absolutely.
We'll have an off-season show, won't we?
Absolutely. We'll have a couple in the winter and a couple definitely in the springtime and summertime. Dylan, I want to say something real quick. You raised a good point. Year 3 will be the year for Marcus Freeman. For me, I know. You look at Brian Kelly's first 2 years, guys, 8-5, 8-5. Year 3, he had him playing for the national championship. Okay, we got rolled by Alabama. Next year's schedule for Marcus Freeman, 11 games, yes, but there is little to no room for error next year for Marcus Freeman in this fight and his Fighting Irish squad. He is going to go into 2023 not on the hot seat in the national stage. He's not even on the hot seat, but if he drops a game or two, he very well might be on the hot seat. With the new athletic director, he might want to go in a new direction if he doesn't start winning some of these frickin' ball games that he should win.
Yes. Frickin'.
Yes.
Get fired up over there.
Getting fired up. I'm getting fired up.
Call the Cardinal police.
What?
Call the Cardinal police. Get fired up and they get a noise complaint.
Yeah, Cardinal chaos here at Testy Tech. My key to the game here on Saturday is, for the love of all things holy, start fast. Don't let them hang in the game. Please don't let a team like this hang in the game. And quite frankly, I do not like our chances or coaching in a one-score game. If this comes down to a one-score game, or even if we're trailing, I don't like our chances in one of these games against this team. So we shall see on Saturday afternoon in South Bend. It's going to be a beautiful day. Can't wait to be there with great people. So we will move on to Logan's Week 12 lock here. I'm battling over bronchitis, so that's why. Logan, you're locked in at hit last week. You're now 0 for 2 in your last 2, so you need something to get back.
Oh God,
That's a hot.
All right.
BC.
We're gonna go for another good game, in my opinion. Washington plays Oregon State. Oregon State is minus 2.5, favorite 2.5. It is in Beavertown. We are going to stuff the Beaver and take the points. Oregon State to win at home. I think they put Washington out of their so-called misery, sitting at 10-0. So I think Oregon State gets the win Saturday night. Be able to watch that one. I'll be in the gym all Saturday. Probably won't be able to watch the Notre Dame game, but we'll be able to watch that game.
Lucky.
Hopefully, I will have a bet that hits Saturday.
Right. You won't miss much on Saturday afternoon in South Bend, Logan. Unfortunately, though, for you, you won't be able to have a drink in your hand during that game for on Saturday because you'll be in the gym. Moving along here to Week 12 picks. Man, Things.
Something. I am officially all four of us. When we all pick the same pick, I'm putting it all in one parlay.
All
Good,
in one parlay.
Let me know because I'm gonna do that too. What are you gonna do it with? Are you gonna do it with the money lines?
All money lines.
Okay. Keep record of it.
I will. I'll put a star next to it. So as we move into week 12, JR currently is 222 and 57. Logan falling behind. He's now 218 and 51. Dylan Kearns is now exempt from the final standings because he missed 2 shows this year, and that's over 60 plus games back. I don't know how to handle that. That's over 60 games. I can't just give them all losses.
Win percentage.
Huh?
Do a win percentage.
JR.
Yeah, but there's still a shot if I go undefeated for 3 weeks.
Oh, please. You'll probably choose Chattanooga over Alabama this week. It might be a little letdown. That okay. And I stand in last place at 208 and 61. 208 and 61 is me. So we'll move along here. Number 2, Michigan at Maryland, 12 p.m. on Fox. Head nod pick, anybody?
I'm not going head nod. I mean, I'm not picking Maryland. But
Yeah, but you're
That
going.
was a good game. Overlook a little bit. Tough spot.
or both Ohio State and Michigan are in similar situations. Ohio State, though, is playing at home with Minnesota coming in. I'll go Michigan here, but watch out. Maryland's, they can put some points up.
Michigan's in a spot that's both oh my gosh, we just had a physical game on the road, and oh my gosh, we got to prepare for Ohio State. They're in a double whammy here. Bad spot, but we don't worry about it. Wolverines. Sorry.
Right. I agree. Thank you, Dylan. JR, they are in similar spots. They're both 10-0. I think that's about the only realm they're both on right now together. I like Michigan, Maryland. Ohio State broke Maryland. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I'll tell you that. They went into that game, I think, undefeated or 1 loss. Since then, they lost 4 now. So Maryland disappointing this year, almost as disappointing as Washington State was. Chattanooga at Alabama. 12 p.m. on ESPN Plus. That's a head nod. We're all going Alabama.
No, hold on. I don't know. I might consider Chattanooga here. You know, Coach Saban, he really puts an emphasis on scheduling those really tough games late in the year. This is a really good example of that. Chattanooga is going to show up, man. They're really going to give Alabama a good test run for that college football playoff push late in November. Credit to Coach Saban for really sticking his neck out on the line.
I will say we cannot
Roll Tide, baby.
We cannot put this into the parlay. They are locked.
Okay, well, then I will cross that off. Now, do you want me to put Michigan in the parlay?
They are my first leg. I have it set up right here.
All righty, then I will go ahead and do that. JR, he is being a clown today. That's very true. But, however, you just disrespected the GOAT. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that at all. I'm a big Saban guy.
Hey, listen, man, he's really pumping his schedule up there. I give him a lot of credit.
It's the SEC.
Out on the line there.
It's the SEC. You look at the other
year, man. He had to fit Chattanooga in there. I don't know how he did it.
It's the SEC scheduling because they play so many games this season in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Their last game of the season is against an SEC opponent. Therefore, they have to play.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to side with you, Landen, because that schedule in the SEC is unbelievable.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe next year for our 12th game, we could pick up like Marist.
Oh, God forbid.
Tech. We could pick up Testicle
Here's a
Tech.
conversation. If Notre Dame's in the SEC West, how many games do we win?
0. Logan, JR, God forbid Alabama doesn't play LSU on a weekly basis. God forbid.
Yeah, they get Vandy and Florida.
Oh, they play Vandy.
Mississippi State.
Oh, my gosh.
Get out of here. You can't be scheduling Chattanooga in November. Get out of here, dude.
Oh, man. Drop them from the rankings. Drop them. Just drop them. Number 10, Louisville at Miami, 12 p.m. on ABC. Louisville can clinch a spot in the ACC championship with a win in Miami this week.
That's like playing a neutral site.
Yeah, they're only it's like a 1 point line.
Pick them.
Last I saw, Miami was favored.
Louisville. Give me Louisville.
Logan?
Golly. I'm going to have to get this one back. Miami.
Miami is favored by 1 as of right now.
Louisville.
I am also taking Louisville on the road. Miami coming off of a tough loss on the road at Florida State. They return home, which doesn't say much there in Miami, but I like Louisville over Miami in this one. Miami favored by 1. That'll get interesting down the road. Rutgers at number 12, Penn State, 12 p.m. on Fox Sports 1.
I think that Michigan coach, he was looking for a tickle me Sandusky hug last week after that post-game presser. Let's go tickle me Sandusky here.
Logan disappeared. He's taking shots at Tequila already today. We'll move a little bit.
Sandusky.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Dylan.
Yeah, one thing about James Franklin, we laugh about him when he loses the big game all the time, but he always bounces back. He doesn't worry about it. He doesn't let it linger. They're going to win, Penn State.
Yeah, we laugh at him because he's won like only 2 big games in his entire career. University of Louisiana Monroe at number 13, Ole Miss, 12 p.m. on Penn State. On the 12 p.m. on the SEC network. Hey, here's another rant from JR. Ole Miss playing UL Monroe. What a joke. What a freaking joke. They play in the SEC West. What a joke. They're playing UL Monroe. Why aren't they playing a team like Clemson or Oregon or Washington? What a freaking disgrace. This is a head nod pick, by the way. We're all
it is a disgrace. And if they want to be taken seriously and maybe coming off of a loss like Alabama or something like that, maybe they could rebound and play and beat somebody legit instead of these cream puffs. Go look at Alabama's schedule. It's no tougher than ours, dude. Okay, they South Florida, South Florida, Mississippi State, A&M, Arkansas, Kentucky, Chattanooga, and Auburn. Come on, man. Those are world
do you want them?
I don't care if they're in the SEC or not.
Who this week? Who do you want them to play? There's nobody left.
Exactly. This is my point with Notre Dame only having 11 games scheduled. You want to play one of these teams next year in November?
Oh, please. No, we get steamrolled.
Is there any benefit to us playing a game like this in November?
And yes, if we
No.
lose.
No, there is not. There is none. There is none. Notre Dame, Michigan, Alabama, those teams should not be playing games like this. None. They shouldn't. And if you think they should, you're wrong.
I mean, we play Tennessee.
It's a great.
Yeah, in September.
What's wrong? What's
Not
the
November. You don't play this game in
Standard.
November. This should be.
Standard.
You don't play this game in November. No.
But you play a conference championship every year, and then you got to play 2 more playoff.
You play gauntlet.
Big boy Alabama. They got to play Chattanooga.
You play.
And that's the
Oh,
first.
man, I'm not budging on this. I'm not budging on this.
That's the
I'm
first.
not budging on this. I would want to play a ranked opponent every single week if I could.
I'm not really disagreeing with you. I'm saying that's the perks of being in the conference.
I'm
I
not.
look at it as a perk.
I'm not. Oh, please. I'm not budging on this either. I'm not budging on this.
Yeah, you go play
either,
Chattanooga. Go ahead, you go play Chattanooga.
I'm not. Okay, you know what? I will gladly play Chattanooga after playing a gauntlet like an SEC schedule to get the Kings out before you play Auburn and then the SEC championship and then the college ball playoff.
Brutal schedule. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mississippi
It
State,
is.
they're barn burners. A&M, they just fired their coach. Arkansas, they're about to fire their coach. Kentucky, they're a 500 football team. What's Auburn? They stink. Chattanooga, they stink. They beat South Florida. How about let's schedule South Florida? How's that? They played Texas, Ole Miss, and LSU. That's it.
3 letters. SEC.
Don't give a independent. Ask Michigan.
Back to school.
Look at our schedule next. Look, read our schedule back to us next year. That's embarrassing. Miami of Ohio. Who else?
At Texas A&M, at Purdue, Northern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, Louisville,
on there.
Stanford, at Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, USC. Weak.
We'll find a way to lose 2 games.
No, it'll be better once we schedule. I don't know, Toledo Sisters of the Poor, Southwest Missouri Directional State.
Number 14, Oklahoma at BYU, 12 p.m. on ESPN.
Just when you thought a bye-week lame show was going to be boring, I'm going to call into Saban to call into that show.
Oh, gosh. Okay, Tyler.
What's the game?
Oklahoma at BYU.
Oklahoma. Mobile-homa.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, it's a head nod.
Yeah.
Third leg of parlay.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. Penn State going to the parlay as well. Ole Miss if you can. I start that one, and then here's Oklahoma added to the parlay. Number 24, I'm going Oklahoma. Number 24, Tulane at Florida Atlantic University. Oh, what a joke. What a joke. They're playing Florida Atlantic, 12 p.m. ESPN Plus.
Well, I'm really surprised at the softness that has transpired at Testicle Tech. What game is this?
You're killing me.
Tulane and Florida Atlantic. Tulane. I'm looking at my spread here. I'm trying to.
Tulane was in a close one last week. Yeah.
Big one in the game. It shouldn't have been.
Yeah. FAU. Dusty May. What's the line?
I see it at 9.5.
9.5.
9.5. Dusty Mays, you guy taking over for Woodson. Give me FAU.
Seriously?
Ooh. Trying to make a move.
Gosh darn it. That'd have been a good leg. Would have brought it up to $5.
All right, screw it. They give me Tulane, Tulsa.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, you're going.
Gambling.
I already wrote it down. You're locked in, but not letting you do it this week. You picked Duke last week, and then you miraculously switched to North Carolina. Not let you do it this week. I'm rolling with Tulane in this one to bounce back big. Number 22, Utah at number 17, Arizona, 2:30 p.m. on the Pac-12 network.
You see the scandal going on at Arizona right now? That's sad, man. That's really sad.
What's going on, Logan?
Their athletic department's like $280 million short.
Yeah, I saw it.
When you have one in the power, you're a power five, but your football team has had a hell of a year. Your basketball team
just beat Duke on the road.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But give me Arizona. Sorry, JR. I thought you picked. My bad. No.
I love Colorado last week. That was a lock against Arizona. Oh man, Utah has been. Boy, I'm sure they would really like to play Chattanooga this week. Give me Utah. I heard you going Arizona. Go ahead.
I can call too.
Logan.
Give me Utah.
Oh.
Arizona
switching last minute.
Arizona's hot. They're gonna win.
Yeah, Logan. This is not now. This is picks. There are rules. You got to weigh your turn here. I like Arizona at home to bounce back or to win this at home against Utah. Dropping Utah from the rankings. Utah, man, they've been all over the place this year with that schedule.
Probably a bad question to ask on the Notre Dame podcast, but what are we ranked in the playoffs?
19.
Top 20?
19. Way to go, Marcus.
That's embarrassing.
Both times we moved up has been in the bye.
Can't lose.
Shout out.
Way to go. Way to go, Marcus. Way to go. Marcus. Number one.
The 2 bye weeks were the best weeks of the year. Can't lose.
Very, very true. Number 1, Georgia at number 18, Tennessee, 3:30 on CBS.
Look.
10.5. Be careful here, man. I'm going Georgia. But be careful.
Taking Georgia to cover the 10.
I will also take Georgia.
Yeah, Rocky Top rocking the first quarter. How this Tennessee team, they don't have a signature win. I don't know how they're 18th in the country still. They got blown out. Their signature win this year is Kentucky. I like Georgia to cover, win it big like they did last year at home. Rocky Top will be rocking for the first quarter. It'll be dead by the second. Illinois at number 16, Iowa, 3:30 on FS1. Iowa can clinch the Big Ten West with a win against Illinois this week.
Iowa the under. I hit it last week.
Sounds like you had a hell of a week.
Iowa the under. Dude, I felt real confident last week. I love USC. I love Colorado. And I love UCF.
Do you bet college basketball at all?
Not yet. I will, but I'm too early.
Give me Wright State money line tonight over IU, by the way.
Yeah, they can't guard Soul. What was the?
Yeah, move.
What was the game?
Iowa gambling. Illinois.
Give me Iowa.
Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I like Iowa in this one. 10-0 to win and clinch the West. That's a real shootout for Iowa. Number 20, North Carolina at Clemson, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. North Carolina still in the running for the ACC title. A loss, though, will put them out.
Come on, Mac.
I'm going Clemson.
What's the line?
The line is -6.5.
All right. Give me Clemson.
I'm too scared to put this on the parlay, so I'm just going to pick North Carolina so we all don't pick the same.
I like Clemson at home in Death Valley. Notre Dame revived their season, and they're going to win out. They're going to win a good bowl game. They're going to go, that's 9-4. So kudos to Notre Dame for saving Dabo and Clemson. Give me the Tigers at home. Minnesota at number 2. Ohio State, 4 Big Ten Network. Can we head on this, please, and move along? Thank you, Dylan. Go ahead and have this one to parlay with Iowa.
We got 6 legs now.
Yeah, Dylan's doing his parlay as we speak. This is funny. This is crazy. Number 6, Oregon, Arizona State, 4 p.m. on Fox.
Oregon.
Ed Oregon.
Listen, I remember a year in 2019 when Oregon entered as a top 10 opponent, went to Arizona State. They got the brakes blown off of them and ruined their entire season in 2019. However, give me Oregon to blow Arizona State out of the water. Arizona State coming off of a big win against UCLA, though. They got Chip Kelly fired. They're going to drop this one big. Number 23, Oklahoma State. Talk about a letdown. Dylan hates Oklahoma State right now.
Fuck.
They play Houston.
Give me the vote.
basketball, and I went back to him on football.
It's like the pet. We should have the F-bomb counter. Like on the McAfee show, we should do that.
Just clowned him. Bet him over.
Where are you
on
going
national
with?
TV.
Hit him over.
Where are you going?
Well, are we going to cut this or is it just going up?
It's going up.
All right. Give me pokes.
Did you pick him too?
JR took the pokes.
Yeah. Thank God, because I'm not going to let this happen. Houston.
Liquor in the front, liquor in the rear.
At this point, guys, I've given up editing. I might just cut the intro and then roll it. Here's another one for JR. This will be a really tough one. It's the CW Network Game of the Week. North Alabama at number 4, Florida State, 6:30 p.m. on the CW Network.
What's their excuse? They're not in the SEC. Do they get an ACC little buffer game in the middle of November?
Their non-conference was not bad. They played and beat LSU in September
On a Sunday.
Free shoe you, right?
Yeah, they're gonna roll. This is a head nodder. Dylan, if you could put it on the parlay, I don't know if it's locked or not, but go ahead. Moving along here. What?
Free shoe you against who?
North Alabama. That's a unanimous pick here. Moving along here. Number 21, Kansas State at number 25, Kansas, 7 p.m. on FS1.
We only got one goddamn hit. Ah, Christ, nobody's listening anyway. K-State.
God damn it, Dorn. Give me K-State.
We're just dropping it now. Yeah, Kansas State.
That's a hell of an idea. I'm going with Kansas at home. I'll be the lone wolf. I'll go Kansas at home.
Giving them a big shit burger.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are all picking Kansas to lose. I say they go out there and give them all a nice, good old burger to eat. Here is no doubt about it, the game of the week. Number 5, Washington at number 11, Oregon State, 7:30 on ABC. We already know Logan's going with Oregon State to knock off Washington. So we'll go JR, Dylan, myself.
The shadiest line of the week. You're not going to get one on me, Logan. I'm going with you. Give me the Beaver.
Dylan?
I will say I was not in the best of moods before the show, but now I get a couple good laughs in. Just starts off the day.
Huskies.
Good. All right. You like Washington on the road, huh?
Yeah, that a boy.
Man, all right. I like Oregon State to win this one. I like Oregon State at home, knocking off Washington. This is the last big game they're going to see in Corvallis. They're going to storm that field after this win. I promise you that. They were left behind in all this conference realignment. Nobody wanted to take little Oregon State. Now they're going to knock off a powerhouse. Stuff that thing. Florida at number 9, Missouri, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. This is tricky. This is a tricky game.
Yeah, I gave you one back on that Tennessee-Missouri game last week. I thought that was a bad spot for Missouri, but that right there is another sign of an excellent coach to come off of a hard loss at a physical team like Georgia like that, and then come home and play a team like Tennessee and still they buried him, man. They buried him. Love that Mizzou coach. He's my number 1 pick for you know what. Give me Missouri.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you do.
No, I would like you to clarify.
Yeah, I'd like for him to be the next Notre Dame coach. That would be nice.
Drinkwitz?
Yeah, you heard it. You heard me say it. Listen, I said a similar thing a couple years ago about, BK leaving, and nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen.
You think Marcus is leaving?
Michigan State.
I don't. Maybe not this year, but he might be leaving next year.
Michigan State.
Bring Tommy back.
Oh my gosh, this is getting crazy.
Cancel the show.
Weiss.
Did you make your pick on Florida?
Would you make your pick and stop being a smartass?
God. Jesus Christ. Oh, Missouri.
Yeah, I'm going to take Missouri as well.
I like Missouri to win at home in this one. Number 7, Texas at Iowa State, 8 p.m. on Fox.
Dangerous game here, man. Dangerous game. Give me Texas.
Logan head nod. Dylan.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Take Arch at Notre Dame?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd put him in the way of CJ Carr. He's not even the third string quarterback at Texas, is he?
They got a loaded room.
I think he's 4th, if I remember.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I'm going to take Iowa State.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Wow. And this is why you're 60 games back. I like Texas in this one.
I missed 2 shows. You're the one in last place, jackass.
Well, if you run the numbers even before you miss 60 games, that was well up on you. Georgia State. I got Texas as well. Hook 'em. Georgia State at number 15, LSU, 8 p.m. on ESPN2.
Barn burner in the SEC.
Another barn burner in the SEC.
I'm not going to put LSU on there because it only goes up 50 cents.
Hey, 50 cents is 50 cents, man. That gets you a Coke at Wendy's or something for you.
Not
LSU.
All right. Moving along here to the non-ranked game of the week. UCLA at USC, 3:30 on ABC. Both of these teams are kind of in shambles right now.
God, if USC drops another one.
I'm going to go USC.
Yeah. This is they're in a similar situation we are, to be honest with you.
Lose.
Maybe worse.
Yeah, they're in a worse situation than we are.
Um,
They already know.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. That's a shit show of a game. What's the line? USC has to be favored, right?
Oh man, now I gotta go back to ESPN and then FBS. What's that? What did I say? 3:30.
Yeah.
That line right now stands at USC -6.
Yeah. Give me the Trojans.
Trojan man.
I knew that was coming. Dylan?
Yeah. I think I'm going to take the quarterback here. And with that, I'm going to take Caleb Williams. I think they win.
Trojan man. I like USC in this one to beat UCLA at home. Prison inmate game of the week. Games of the week. We have a few of them here.
Oh,
Boston.
God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Starting tonight.
Boston College, 6-4 at Pitt, 2-8, Thursday, 7 p.m. on ESPN.
Yeah, Pitt's favored in this game. Can you believe that?
Are you serious?
About a 2-point favorite.
What does Vegas know that we don't?
It's 2.5 on my pick'em league, which is adjusted one way or another. So I'm going to go BC.
Give me BC as well.
I'll take Pitt. Home spot.
What does Vegas know that we don't? I like BC in this one, but man, if Vegas has them favored, I like Boston College. Colorado, 4-6 at Washington State, 4-6. Friday night, 10:30 p.m. on FS1.
Washington State really fell off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Colorado here.
Prime.
I'm looking.
Why are you looking? What do you need to look at?
I look at the last 5 and
He's-
think about it, okay?
He's
Like
playing his odds.
Like, what do you need to look at? You've looked at every single game. Can't
Yeah,
you just make a pick? Make a pick.
Jesus.
He's
Colorado.
He's
Thank
checking his ROI.
Thank you. I like Coach Prime in this one as well.
Oh,
Give me
absolutely.
Coach Prime. They're going to stay bowl eligible right now.
That's our first plus money pick of the week, or the parlay. This is actually a really good parlay. 10 to win 103 right now.
Not bad. Not bad. Michigan State 3-7 at Indiana 3-7, 12 p.m. on the Big Ten Network.
I'm surprised Bama just didn't schedule IU this week. Give me IU.
What is the line on
Oh
the
my gosh.
93
What is
and a half IU.
IU is favored? Oh God! Give me the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I will take Sparty.
Pastor Allen.
the nail in?
This.
Where are you going, Dylan?
We can't let IU ruin this. 10 legger and 11 is fucking IU and he loses it.
This is going to be the nail in the coffin for Tommy Allen. Tommy boy, give me Michigan State to beat Indiana on the road. Both teams suck, but I like Michigan State a little better than I like Pastor Allen. Purdue at Northwestern, 12 p.m. on the Big Ten Network.
God, that's awful.
Northwestern.
Boilers.
Northwestern.
What's the line on this?
Nobody cares.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Dylan, look.
I've got it pulled up. Please get off my. What time?
Oh, noon. It's a nooner.
Northwestern is +3.
Boilers.
They're playing pretty well, actually.
Northwestern. I like Northwestern. They're going bowling this year. They're going to make that guy their full-time head coach. Nebraska 5-5 at Wisconsin 5-5. 7:30 on NBC.
Wisconsin.
Badges.
Cornhusker.
I like Nebraska. Syracuse 5-5 at Georgia Tech 5-5. 8 p.m. on the ACC network.
Hughes at Tech.
Yep.
Tech.
Yeah, Tech.
Rudy.
Oh my gosh. Give me the orange.
Oh, boo. Georgia Tech, this is their last chance at a win to try to make a bowl game this season because they got Georgia next week. I like Georgia Tech at home over Syracuse. Wake Forest at 19, Notre Dame, 3:30 p.m.
Notre Dame. Notre Dame 41. Wake Forest 16.
Ugh.
Thank you, seniors. Adios.
Oh God.
Please go to the confessional prior to the end of the year to absolve your playing sins. Coaches included.
Coaches. All are welcome.
Coaches and others.
I'm gonna go Notre Dame, and I'm going to go. There's no way in hell we score 40 points. 28-17. Got it. If we get
Boy, that is not a very reassuring score.
no.
It's a senior day. They'll be pumped up. Notre Dame 55. Wake Forest 7. The
Wake
final look.
Forest.
Final look. Before you go, Landen, final look at the total parlay. Y'all ready for this? Penn State over Rutgers, Michigan over Maryland, Oklahoma over BYU, Georgia over Tennessee, Iowa over Illinois, Ohio State money line, Oregon, Missouri, USC, Colorado, Notre Dame. $10 wins $106.
A whole lot of peanut butter. Moving along. Man, Wake Forest. They're playing like they got nothing to lose. They're gonna make they win. They stay bowl eligible. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. They're 7-3 this year. They're not really playing for much now, except a 10-win season. Which, congrats. Senior day, Wake Forest, their quarterback.
Don't you? Oh God!
They got a good chance to really put salt in the wound for these Irish faithful. Notre Dame, and Notre Shame. Unfortunately for Wake Forest, they don't have the talent to do it, and I will take Notre Dame to win it 24-21, thanks to a Spencer Schrader field goal in the expiring seconds. Win the game for Notre Dame. It's not going. I know. I do it. It's why I do. I'm good at that. All right, Notre Dame and Wake Forest, 3:30 p.m. on AC Saturday. Jack Collinsworth and Jason Garrett on the call for that one. Final home game of the year for Notre Dame in 2023. We will be back next Tuesday to recap the game and everything that happened around college football. Tuesday, we will see you next time. Go Irish.